Hey, this is Harry for MusicTech, and here is what we're going to be creating today using just the AlphaTheta Chordcat. So I've had this thing for a few days now, trying out all the different features that AlphaTheta have managed to cram into this thing. Honestly, there's so much going on for such a small and portable little Groovebox. It's got a bunch of different features you might expect from something like this. So it has an 8-track sequencer. You've got 145 different sounds to choose from and 16 different drum kits across some different genres. One of the things that really separates this from the rest though is the chord cruiser feature, which intelligently suggests chords based on what you've input previously. So that way you can build up some really interesting chord progressions, even if you don't really have a huge grasp on music theory like myself. So let's get into it. Here we have a completely fresh project on the Chordcat. Before we can use Chord Cruiser, we need to pick the chord set. Currently, we're set to minor. We can do major, minor 7, and so on. Genre-specific ones there too. Let's go for house. There we go. If we go into Chord Cruiser, we can basically select the chord that we have previously. So in this case, this is our starting chord, and now the XY pad is just going to be full of a ton of different selections for us to choose from. So we can just go through and experiment. Oh, that's cool. I like that one, so I'm going to hold that down and press number 2, and now they're sort of locked in, so now if we hover over 2, we'll go with that one. You know what, I actually think I want that to be a kind of variation of the first chord, or the chord it currently is, to be honest. So maybe a different inversion, so we can go into voicing, and now with this highlighted, this will show all the different variations of what is a F-sharp major chord. I think we'll just go with a root. So now we've got 4 chords lined up, let's record it in. Super easy to do. That's already sounding good. Let's get some drums going. We'll go back into track. Currently, our grand piano is on track 1. We want to go to track 2, and then we can play with the sounds. So this is the sound library right now. We're currently defaulted to a bass, and we can just toggle through until we hit kits. There we go. So we've got loads of different options. We've got some nice acoustic sounding kits actually on this. Let's stick with the house kit for now. So we recorded in the piano, but we can use the step sequencer for this. And now you can see the step sequencer is running. We just want to select the note that we want to play and then just fill in. Let's add in some claps and some hi-hats, just some offbeat hi-hats. Let's go ahead and add a bass line now. That's nice. Maybe a bit too soft. We'll go with the fluffy bass, that's nice. We'll record that in. One of the things that we could add here is the ducker, just to give it a bit more separation from the drums and to create that like pumping sound that you get. So let's just solo the bass. We'll go click ducker. And now the XY pad will control the ducker parameters. Let's go ahead and add another melodic line. I'm thinking like some sort of arpeggiated version of the piano chords. If you're listening on headphones right now, you'll be able to hear the panning going on. That sounds really nice. Okay, so if we want to arpeggiate this, we'll need obviously the chords to begin with, but instead of recording them in and risking doing it slightly wrong, we could just copy and paste it from the piano. So let's arpeggiate this. When we're on track, these 4 buttons control some different things. It's almost like a mixer. So we have the track volume, pan, and reverb. So let's play with the reverb. It's actually a really nice sounding reverb. Let's add some more stuff. Right, what can we do? Oh, okay, house organ straight away. Let's try. Oh yeah, let's turn the octave up. Okay, that's gonna work. Cool, finally I think we should add some sort of brassy thing. There we go. This is currently chromatic. We can change the scale of the keyboard and change it so that it's a bit more useful. In this case, trusty minor pentatonic, everything sounds great. Perfect. One of the features I just have to show off at this point is the run direction feature, which may or may not work with what we've just done. But this will basically change the sequencer direction. So instead of going left to right and then down the rows, you can change it to go down, so it will go down and then left to right, or clockwise or counterclockwise. Let's see how that works on the trumpet. You can see how if you're maybe stuck in a little bit of a rut or you just want a variation on something you've already done, you can use the running direction to just spice things up. What we've done currently is on each track we've basically created a pattern. And if we were to create multiple patterns, we could then trigger them at different times and in essence build sections of the song. So I'll show you very quickly on the drums, for example. So we've got one pattern on the drums currently, which is this pattern we originally did. But we can now select a second pattern, which is currently empty. So we can just maybe add in some more 4 on the floor, and then we can toggle between them. But instead of doing it manually, you can also use pattern chaining. We can then select, okay, we want, let's say, 4 repetitions of the pattern 2, we want 1 of pattern 1, and so on. So here is an example of what it could sound like using patterns and pattern chaining. So now we've created our full arrangement, what do we do with it? So we have a few options. We can either use the 1/4" jacks and record it straight out of the Chordcat. Alternatively, you can plug it into the computer on USB-C and it will act like a MIDI controller. And then you could solo the tracks and just record them into your DAW. And finally, you have the Chordcat Manager, which allows you to basically drag and drop patterns off the Chordcat straight into your DAW. Hopefully this has given you a bit of an idea about what's possible on the Chordcat. Honestly, I don't think I've scratched the surface. It's just packed full of features. Having Chord Cruiser has just made it so much fun to be able to play around with different chord progressions, different genres and everything. And then you've also got all of the tools on this to be able to actually flesh it out and turn it into a full track. If you'd like to learn more about Chordcat, then you can visit the AlphaTheta website, the link is below in the description, or visit MusicTech.com. Now, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and felt inspired. I know I have, so I'm off to create some more tracks before I have to give this thing back.